Alright, hi there, so what is here back with another video. I'm not sure of the appropriateness of this video due to what is happening outside in the world right now, but I'm gonna just make the thing because I think it's long overdue, right? So last week I talked about taking not bad pictures with your phone, right? The few simple tricks you can use in order to make sure your pictures stand out and don't look as normal, right? By just using your phone and maybe your friend's phone and whatnot, right? So this week we're gonna take it a step further, right? So man is lately a bit under the weather. The voice is not coming out that smoothly, right? So this week we're taking it a bit further and we're talking about going pro, how to turn in your sort of curiosity in photography into doing the thing professionally, right? So yeah, the few simple steps I took when starting the thing and that made it pretty easy to get into photography, right? So the first mistake that you might make would be to want to buy a camera, right? Obviously, the sooner you have that, the better in terms of quality your pictures will be, but doesn't mean that your work will sort of improve as well, right? So, and the first thing that you can do or you should do, especially if you have a cell phone, right? So what you should do is go out every day, start taking pictures, right? So how I started was that I went to I was running at the time a lot. So every day when I would run, I would take a picture of myself, right, with those kilometer things and whatnot on that app, right? Every day when I would run, I would take pictures, keep on taking pictures of myself. Eventually, it got sort of boring or narcissistic a bit, even to me, this thing of always taking my own pictures or my selfies. So I started taking pictures of other things I would see whenever I was in my run, right? Things like maybe a cat or what's this? What do you find there? Maybe a leaf, maybe it was raining, a puddle of water, all those things, right? And that is what I was taking pictures of, right? Every time I was running, I was always taking pictures of flowers. Obviously, flowers, I think every photographer starts there, right? So as soon as you start this cycle of taking pictures, your curiosity will grow. Obviously, taking pictures using the camera on your phone doesn't give you that much flexibility, right? So you're gonna have options, right? Depending on what you use. This is mainly for people using an iPhone because I know an iPhone works well for this. Mine is the SE. I'm not sure if you have an SE or anything later, it should work perfectly fine, right? So what I used or what are your options is your Lightroom. You have what? You have Lightroom, we have SnapSeed, we have VSCO, what other app? ProCamera is a game changer app. Not sure I forgot the thing. Those are the ones I've used, and those I think the important ones, right? And in all three of them, actually, I think Lightroom is the one I use the most, right? So as soon as you've got these apps are gonna allow you, especially Lightroom. Let's just talk about Lightroom right now. Lightroom will allow you to take pictures in 3 times the quality that would have been taken by your camera phone, right? This means that you have more quality to play with if you wish to edit your pictures. My advice with editing, obviously, is don't rush the thing because it may pressure you if your pictures don't look the same as the other guys who are into photography but seem to be taken in the same sort of manner. But using Lightroom will teach you things like on editing. You might learn things like your what's this aspect ratios, right? For maybe for your Instagram story, the aspect ratio is 1920 by 10, no, 1080 by 1920. What? 1080p, 1080 by 1920, right? 16 by 9. Then you'll have the Instagram feed aspect ratio, which is 1080 by 1350, right? Those are important things when you start sharing your pictures on these platforms, right? And then also, the other things that you will learn is shooting raw, right? So maybe you've heard this from photographers talking about shooting raw. Essentially, what it means is the picture that comes out of your phone or whatever, the picture that comes out of your phone is not the final picture yet, right? It's sort of some high quality image that needs to be edited, right? And this picture gives you flexibility as to how you can change the stuff around, right? White balance and whatnot. Another thing I think you'll see with your editing as well, as soon as you get into editing, when you are new into this thing of photography, what will happen the most is that you will over edit, right? I think maybe the first year or two I was doing photography, I was simply over editing, and it went down as I got into editing a little bit more and more experienced, right? So you will obviously over edit because you really don't know what you're doing, right? Take pictures using Lightroom. Also, Lightroom is gonna sort of catch your curiosity towards using a better or a bigger camera, right? So another thing would be when shooting with Lightroom, I would advise that you go out every day, shoot a picture, right? What I did is when I began this thing, I was taking a picture every day of me that must be posted to my Instagram. That was the plan. Every day, I think, I'm not sure how long I did the thing, but I'm sure that the first year, it's not even a full year, I took pictures. I took more than 40,000 pictures on my iPhone. More than 40,000 pictures. I'm saying 40,000 because I remember the last time I did the thing was around 40K when I took pictures from my phone to my laptop, right? Every time it's 10K, the thing starts afresh in terms of the numbering of the images, right? So take as many pictures as possible. Take more than 40,000 pictures. Take pictures of everything. Obviously, be safe wherever you're doing the thing, but keep on taking pictures every time. This, it doesn't matter how good your pictures are when you're still beginning the thing, but this is training you to look at things differently. Take pictures of the simplest of things and look at them differently. Photographers have a trained eye, and that eye isn't just trained because you have a camera. You are trained because you have experience. You have taken a lot of pictures before. You know what angles work for what, right? You know how to position yourself in relation to the sunlight. You know how to, whatever the trick is that needs to be done in whatever situation, right? So putting yourself in a lot of different situations means you'll be sort of versatile as a photographer, where to start doing or getting paid to do this thing and getting a camera or anything like that. With getting a camera, when should you get a camera? Well, this is simple. As soon as some people want to hire you when you're still doing your thing on your phone, then that is a sort of a sign that you should get a camera, and you'll feel sort of also the edge, right? So once you've taken your camera or your phone to the limits, you've tried everything possible in terms of your phone, it just feels like the only limit, then you should move on to using a camera. Another thing you should do for inspiration, you should follow good photographers on the internet. What you can do right now is to check who I'm following on my Instagram, and a lot of those photographers are one of the best or are the best in the world, right? So check those photographers out. They'll give you sort of inspiration to keep on shooting, right? Also, there's an app called 500px. I think it's 500 pixels, but it's 500px. That is where high quality photography or photos are posted, right? Go check them out, and you'll get some more inspiration as to how pictures are taken and how good pictures can be, right? Also, another thing would be, I think maybe it will go on as you get into the art of photography. The thing of, I'm not sure, maybe it's ladies, but as time goes on, I was treating myself, obviously, every day I was taking a picture of myself. You get to be a little less concerned with how you look and more concerned with how the image looks, how the whole thing works, right? So if you're concerned with the composition, the lighting of the image, well, you are ways ahead in terms of photography, especially ladies, because I know it's an evolutionary thing for you guys, right? So that is how I got into photography. Took pictures almost every day of the week. Every time I had an opportunity, whenever I was in the taxi and I was sitting next to the window, whenever we would go out with the fam, and whenever I'd go out with my friends here, we'd go swimming and whatnot, I would always be taking pictures. Take as many as possible. Then use your Google account to back them up, put them on your laptop, delete a lot of them because some of them or most of them are useless or are not well taken, but keep on taking pictures. That's the thing, I think. I think as soon as you get into that edge of having to take a picture almost daily and doing that, well, you'll start to get curious as to how you can always take your stuff to the next level. And once you're there, well, you're in to this thing, right? Hopefully this was helpful somehow into getting to photography. If you have an iPhone or a good Android phone, the latest ones, I think they're good as well. Make sure, no, the latest, I think they're good. Just start taking pictures every day of the week. Doesn't matter how good the pictures are, make sure you take pictures. A lot of them you'll get good or better with time, right? Obviously, I'm out. No. You'll get better with time, all right? So this has been too long. Hopefully that advice was useful. And this has been Somategisi. I'll see you next week. Stay safe and have a good one. Peace.